Hey everybody, welcome to the Treehouse stream. It is Friday the 2nd of June, and we're going to do some more stuff with API Star, hopefully. That is my plan, at least. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to get here, but yeah, how's everybody doing? Anything exciting to share in chat? If you have something cool to share, feel free to post it. Yeah. So, we worked on API Star a little bit last week, and it took us a while to get anything working, as those of you who were here probably remember, because it doesn't work on Windows like it's supposed to, or like it says it does. So we set up a virtual box with a virtual machine running in it, so that we could run it there in Linux. So that's what we still have going on. I got everything running up again. Everything's still good. So we are doing what we wanted to do. So yeah. So what we're going to try and do today is get the rest of this working. Oh, it's not 8,000, it's 8080. There we go. Cool. So, I watched Tom Christie's talk from PyCon. He gave a talk at PyCon this past year, like 2 weeks ago, about building better APIs with Python. And it was all about his API Star stuff. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's really neat. So I'm going to try and use... I was just kind of listening out of the corner of my ear, so we'll see how much of this I can figure out. Excuse me, but I think I know what I'm doing on this. And we'll find out. Because I either do or I don't. Hey, Eternal Mist, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I wanted to see if I could get to the schemas. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so I think that's where we left off last time, was we were playing with schemas, and we had this. Yeah, we had this game schema here, and we were able to get a schema, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm going to give people a minute or two to show up. I know that, the notifications go out, and then it takes a minute for people to show up sometimes. I'm also going to put on quiet hours, and don't disturb me for 2 hours. I don't need anything popping up on my screen. It's enough work just to remember all of this stuff. So what we had done last time was we made this schema, and we were, if I remember correctly, we were just to the point where we could send in a game. Let's see if we can get what am I looking for? I'm looking for apps. Apps. There's my apps. And Postman. Because this is what we were playing with last time. This was our last thing that we had done, was we had sent something here, and we got back a message with our data. So we had sent application JSON, and we sent this bunch of JSON stuff, and we had no authorization, and we got back this message, and we were going to try and store that in some sort of data format. I think our plan was to try and turn that into something that we could toss into tablib. So, and then use tablib to save like a JSON file, and then we can filter using tablib and all that kind of stuff. So I think we can probably do this. I guess we'll find out if we can do this or not. Right? Sure. All right, so let's give that a start. Let's get tablibs docs open. Hey everybody, how are you doing? Since I haven't really used tablib before, rows. That's what we want. We want to add rows. So we have our data set, which we've got that there. And then we would just do that. Okay, so if we come over here and we import games, which we've done that there, okay. Then we want to add a row, and we just pass in the data like that. Can we toss that in by using a dict? All right, let's just mess with it. We'll just see what we can do. Okay, so when we add the game, we've got this game here, and we want to do games.append, and we're just going to append one of these. So we want to do like game.name, what's our schema? Name, designer, player count, duration. Okay. Designer, player count, and then we want to do, really, we want to try and do we'll import write as well, because write doesn't require us to do anything. So then write, and then let's see if we can do that. Let's see if this works. I have no idea if this will do what we want it to do or not, but we'll find out. Game schema object has no attribute name. Okay, fair enough. Let's toss. Not that. Let's toss PDB in here. Assuming we can. All right, so let's post that through again. We should be in PDB over here. We are. Game. So game is just a dictionary. Okay. Well, that's a lot easier. Okay. So we're going to get that attribute error. We'll go take out that line. And we'll turn all of these into key access. Okay, we save that. And let's post this again. We get back our thing, and if I look, haha, there's games.json, and now I have a new item here. Cool. So that gave me a game. But that just gave me one new one. I would have to write all of them. Okay. Not the simplest. Because, like, okay, if I come over here and I change... Where's my... That's what came back. Here we go. So let's send in another game from Vlada. We'll send in Dungeon Lords. I don't actually need to hit save. All right. This one only goes up to 4. And I'm going to say it takes 90 minutes. All right. Let's send that. Okay. So that should have saved. And if we look at our game's JSON, we got that one too. It kept both of them. What? What? How did it do that? Is it because the thing was... What? Any of y'all have an idea on that one? That's just weird to me. Okay, whatever. Let's just leave that alone for right now. So let's do a list. So list games. And that won't take anything. And we want to do read. I don't think we really even need read there, but let's do read just in case. Okay. So then, if I do read, read will load all of that stuff, but I saw something over here about importing. Selecting, exporting, importing. Okay, so we can... Okay. So maybe we don't need this read function. Maybe we just need here to do .load, and then we would open games.json and call .read. Let's try that, which means that up here we don't need this. And so down here, let's just do return message games.json. And we'll do list, and this should only be a get, and this should be list games. Okay, so now we should be able to go back over here, and we should be able to do a get and list. Didn't get anything. Oh, because our thing crashed. All right. Okay. That doesn't look exactly right. So, haha, there's what we need to do. So we need to do serialization here. So our list games here is going to return a list of game schema, which really we could just call that game, but whatever, that's fine. And do we have list imported? Now we do. Oh no, wait, that doesn't come from there. That comes from typing. I don't know if that's quite right, but I think it is. Okay, so then we want to return a list here, and we want to do game schema. Game .dict for game and games. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but let's give this a try. And we probably need that to be ***. Okay. Again, thing crashed. Tuple object has no attribute dict. True. All right, let's do another PDB here. Send that request again. Get into here. Games. Games is a database object. So game for game in games. Okay. Let's say game equals games 0. And let's do a dir on game. So we can do a count and an index. Takes exactly one object. Okay. So games. So games. Games.export. It's a bound method. Export dataset object to format. Okay. Let's check that out. Maybe that has something that we want. So we can do that out into JSON, YAML, whatever. Okay. I want to get just a single row. That does rows and columns, which I don't care to do that. I see the chat. I will respond in just a minute. I don't want to lose my train of thought. So give me a second. Okay, so maybe I could do... That gives me each of them... Okay. So for game and games.dict. And then let's take out that. Okay. And then send. Error of type is not JSON serializable. That field's required, that field's required. Yeah, of course they are. Okay. Let's go back to PDB. But I will answer y'all first. So, hi everybody. I see Diksha, I got Jose, I got TPS, we got all sorts of people. So, we are continuing what we did last week. So last week we started playing with API Star, which is the new Python API building library thing from Tom Christie, who is the person that made Django REST framework. This doesn't rely on Django. This doesn't rely on anything other than Python. So it's a way to build APIs without having to have the weight of Django or Pyramid or Flask or whatever it is that you're wanting to do on top of it. So we're playing with that. We're trying to build an API that will let us, I don't know, like list games and stuff like that, like board games. So right now we've got it to where we can add a game, or seem to have it where we can add a game. We don't have it quite to where we can pull games back out yet. So we're still working on that. So that's what we're trying. So we'll see how this works. Hello to Venezuela and to Russia. St. Petersburg. I don't know of anyone other than Russia, but I guess I could be wrong on that. Inside the VirtualBox is Arch Linux. So it's just a pretty basic Linux distro. So that's what we're doing there. Okay, so I want to look at here. Yoo-hoo. There we go. Games.dict is an ordered dict. Okay, right. Let's This machine is not doing what I want. Let's reset the machine. Yeah, that's fine. Something was getting weird there. So while I've got a good chunk of you here, I just want to say, I think starting next week, we're going to be streaming only on YouTube. We won't be streaming to Twitch or Beam anymore. Sorry, Mixer anymore. So if you've been a subscriber on either of those, then just hop over to YouTube instead, please. It's way easier for us to only stream to one platform than it is to go to 3 of them. Huh. Can I find my mount thing from before? There we go. That wasn't fun. Alright, so I should be able to do API star run host equals 0.0.0. There we go. And then if we hit send here, we should get PDB here. And I can do games.dict, and I've got that. Okay. Let's say game for game in games.dict. Let's just try game equals games.dict 0. Game. Yeah. That should totally work. Game schema star game. Right? JS equals game schema star game dir GS. Okay, gs.keys. GS name. Oh. I think I know what it is. Because our keys don't match from one to the next, right? Because we have capital D designer and we have lowercase d designer as the key in the schema. And player count. Okay. Okay. Let's simplify our thing then. So let's go back over here. Okay, so let's try that, and then let's update. We'll manually update this. Okay. And then we should totally be able to just do that. All right, let's try this again. No. Object of type is not JSON serializable. There we go. Okay, so I don't need to turn the dict into keys. I just need to send the dict through. Okay, so we got back our 2 games that we added, and that gave me what I wanted. Sweet. What am I doing in the Arch CLI? This is just running the server. And why am I not doing that in Bash on Windows 10? I wasn't sure I could get that to work, and this was a thing we did kind of in the middle of the live stream last week. So I was fairly certain I could get Arch to work in the virtual box. I wasn't certain I could get all the stuff I needed to work in the Ubuntu subsystem thing in Windows 10. I may try that later, the Windows 10 thing, but right now I'm not going to worry about that. All right, cool. So that gave us our JSON file. We can add stuff to it. Let's do another add one. Let's change our body here. Let's give a completely different name. Let's do 5 tribes. And the designer is Bruno Cathala. Player count on that is, I think, 5. Let's pull this out and look real quick. No, it's 4. And it takes 80 minutes. All right. So there we go, 80. I keep hitting save. All right, so let's send that. And now if we go to list, and we don't do a post, we do a get. Huh. Expected values line 10. Did we not get some values? So our post didn't work. It got a thing it didn't expect. Oh, I deleted a quote mark. Okay. Now if we rerun our get, we should get all 3 of them. Cool. So we've got them, which is really nice. Okay. So, cool. So we've got it to where we can add stuff to the list. We've got it to where we can list the entire thing. It seems like the next thing we'd want to do would be, say, search. Search makes sense. So let's see if we can do search. So, def search. I don't want to call that list, because if I call that list, then it overrides the thing. Yeah. Okay, so this returns a list of game schema. So return game schema game for game in games.dict. But we need to filter that first. So let's look over here at filtering. There was a way to do filtering, wasn't there? Filtering with tags. Okay, so he's adding in tags there. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to filter. Aha, there we go. Oh, but that's only tags. Maybe this is where we start using a real database instead of stuff we got from... Well, I mean, I can just write a filter. Let's just do this. Gamesdict equals games.dict. Gamesdict. We'll do a list of a filter. We'll do a lambda x. Where x name is equal to x name dot contains dungeon. We're going to do that on games.dict and turn that into that. All right, so let's just real quick see if this works. That is not where I wanted to do it, though. I wanted to do it here. This can go back to being a dot. All right, so then let's add in search. and search. Name search games is not defined. No, it's not. I just called it search. There we go. All right, back to Postman. Back to here where we do search, and we should get just one game. We got no game. That's right. Strings don't have a contains. Find only finds. Yeah, that would work. Find would work. So where that's greater than or equal to 0. Send. And we get back just Dungeon Lords. Okay, cool. So we got the start. We need to handle the other stuff. So that's cool. Let's look at API star. I want to refresh this docs real quick, by the way, just to show off that cool thing. But I want to look at I don't want to look at those. I want to look at requests. And I want to look at query params. There we go. So query params is the thing I'm going to need. I'm going to pull those in there. So let's take query params, and that's going to be of type query params. No, HTTP query params. So I'm assuming I need to do HTTP. Yeah, from API star import HTTP. Okay, so we are going to get a bunch of query params here, and I want to see them. So let's do print dict query params. And let's just see what happens there. Where's my Postman? There's Postman. Okay, query params were none, which is true. So I want to do title equals picked. Okay, so I get title, and then I get a list called picked, or a list with the item picked in it. So that's cool. So now I need to find a way to write these filters the way that I like them. Okay. So let's try this. For key in query params, yeah, I know that's invalid syntax. Okay, so for key, no. For key in query params, if key in name designer player count or duration. Okay, so I only care about the keys that come in if the key is in my valid fields to filter by. Right? Right. Okay, so first off, let's get our games dict up here, which is just going to be games.dict. And I probably don't even need that, but I'm doing that mainly so that I have an easy place to do my filters. Okay. If key is equal to name, then I want to do gamesDict equals filter, and we're going to have a lambda here where xName.find of query params key is greater than or equal to 0 for games dict. All right, and then we basically want to copy and paste this. And this is not a great way of doing it, but this is the way I'm going to do it. Actually, let's be smarter here, because this is going to match. Okay. And then that, and then let's make this a list right here, where we finally need it to be a list. Yeah. Okay. I think that'll work. Let's find out. That's the fun. No, something's wrong there. Oh yeah, this should be for key in query params if key is equal to that. That should be good. Yep. Okay. So now I've got picked there. Let's send that. And I got Pictomania. Why didn't that give me what I wanted? That didn't give me what I wanted either. Let's try print key so we can see what the key is. I am not seeing a key. I bet I can change this too to be game schema dot keys. Descriptor keys of dict object needs an argument. What? That's not. No, that's not how that works. Okay. Okay, Tom. What did you do? What did you do there, Tom? Because that's not how. What? Okay. Let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about that for right now at all. Let's just. We'll just undo this. We'll go back to our list of keys. Okay. Here we go. So, for key in key for okay, let's do this. Query. We'll say this QP is equal to a dict of QP. Okay. So QP, and we will find QP, see if that key has that. I think that's more correct. What? Oh. Okay. Okay, so there they all are. They're all coming out. And I'm still not getting a thing. So let's do print key for key in QP. Send that. And we got title. Which, that's true. I wasn't looking for title. I was looking for name. Oh, silly me. Okay. That should be that. I have invalid syntax. That's true. Oh, I have to run it. I keep forgetting it doesn't just like auto restart. Must be stir, not list. Oh, that's true, because the thing that comes in here is a list. This right here. So let's do space.join of that. Because if you sent in like 2 or 3 things, we'd want to have all of those in there. There we go. Now we got Pictomania. So now if I search for 5, that comes back as blank because it's lowercase. So how can I handle multiple cases? So regex? Because find is... Yeah, I might have to do regex. Regex is not fun to do with wildcards. So, what is a better way? Yeah, in would be better. So yeah, let's do to find out if blah.join qp key dot lower in x.key dot lower. Yeah, and then I don't need the greater than 0. Okay, I think that'll work. No? Something's wrong? What's wrong? Let's see. Let's drop that to a new line. Let's drop this to a new line. There we go. Because that closes the filter. Okay. PI star. Send. Sweet! So now I can search uppercase, I can search lowercase, I can search whatever. So let's try doing designer equals Vla. There's the 2 games by Vlada. Cool. All right. So now we've got searching, and we've got adding and listing. So we can add a new item, we can list an item, we can search for items. We can't delete or rate or anything like that. All right. That's kind of cool. Right now we're just using this with JSON. We just have a JSON dictionary or a JSON file that holds all of this stuff. So I'm going to leave this up to chat. We're at 45 minutes. We got about an hour and 15 left. For next steps, would y'all rather see me put an actual database behind this. So we'll stick like Postgres or probably SQLite, because SQLite's everywhere. We'll stick SQLite behind it, and we'll use an actual database with the schema and like SQL Alchemy or something. Or would you rather see me build like a Vue.js front end to this when I don't know Vue.js at all? So that should be really fun, because I don't know what I'm doing. So which one of those would you all rather see? Go ahead and post that in chat, and I will answer some questions, because I saw a couple of things come up. Sergey wants to know what we're doing. So we're building an API. Right now it's just an API that like stores board games. So it'd just be like, you want to build a library of all the games that you own so that other people could look at all of your games, right? And somebody could be like, hey, I really want to play Pictomania with you. Let's play that like next Friday or whatever. So that's kind of the idea. We're just building a thing. I built it because I got a bunch of board games here, and I was like, it'd be fun to have a thing where you can do a thing. So that's it. So that's what we're building there. And we're using API Star just as a way of kind of playing around with API Star and trying to learn it. It's a neat library, so I would love to play with it some more. So that's what I've got there. And then Jawad Muhammad asks, does Treehouse give continually live coding courses? No. All of our courses are pre-recorded, so we go to a studio, we record the course. And so then you can watch them on the site. I do a live stream, this thing right here, every week for 2 hours on Fridays. And then my coworker, Ben Deitch, who is our Android teacher, he does a 2-hour live stream on Thursdays. He just started yesterday. Yesterday was his first solo stream. So if you're interested in Android development or Kotlin development, then he's the one to watch. That's every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So Pacific time zone. PDT, PST. Yeah, pause. I mean, the database is... It's a database. I'm not great with SQL Alchemy, so y'all can watch me struggle and fight with that. Or we can try and do Vue.js, which I have never touched. I've read the documentation very slightly. So we can try Vue.js. It will probably look horrible. It'll probably be horrible, but we can give it a try. So yeah, I'll give y'all another minute or so to decide, and then we will either do Vue.js or we'll do a database. We may have time to do both, honestly. So let's try doing Vue.js first, and then let's try doing Vue.js first, and then we'll do the database second if we have time for it. So I'm going to add. Okay. So I'm going to add that in. That's not exactly where I meant to add it, but whatever. And then that should give us, if we were to go here, we should have Vue.js. Hello, Pedro. How are you doing? Taking a lot longer to load. And I'm assuming that's because we're having to pull down the JavaScript thing there. So I'll let that download for a minute. Really, it's probably better. I'm not necessarily used to that, but let's see how else we can install this. Can we just download a thing? Yeah. Let's just download it. Save link as. And then let's go find my projects folder and the game API and static. And we'll make a new folder called JavaScript. And we'll save it in there. And then in here, we will do static.js view.js. All right. And so now, if we refresh this, should be much faster. It is running, right? Yeah, okay. That took a while. All right, so we have the Vue.js thing, and we're supposed to be able to do like this declarative rendering, right? So we should be able to go here to static, and we should be able to add a new one, and we'll call this like games.js. And we would copy this and paste. And then we should be able to go over here, and we should be able to make a new div with an ID of app. And then we should be able to put in message. And if we were to include our games.js and go refresh this page, nothing. That may be because of how our templates work. Let's hop back up here. Actually, yeah. Where was that? Building websites. So we're using Jinja 2, right? And we're rendering out this thing. Huh. Okay. I'd like to tell the templates not to... Like, it'd be nice if I could just be like, hey, don't do this thing. But that's not always a thing you can do. So let's pop back up here. And let's... Oh, wait, we're using Jinja 2. So, Jinja 2... disable... That's the best I can think of. Disable the auto escape in Jinja 2. Not exactly what I want to do. Basically, I want to turn it off. I don't want to turn off Jinja 2 completely. I just want to turn off Jinja 2 in a certain chunk. So let's look at those. Also, let's do Jinja 2 Vue.js. Somebody might have an idea on that one. Flask Vue.js. Not exactly what I wanted. Flask with Vue.js as a front end. There we go. That's closer. Okay. So they're doing this to change what those tags are. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. Let's go over here. So we have our app, new view, delimiters. Delimiters. That's how you spell delimiters, right? Yep. So then this will be that, and that. All right. Okay. So now, in our template, here, we would change this to that, and that. Okay. And now we've got hello view. Sweet. Okay, so hello view showed up right there. Welcome to the API showed up there. Hi, none showed up there. We don't care about the name that comes in. We're gonna just not even worry about that. And yep, that works. And I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So that works. Okay. So now let's see if we can figure out how to get from view the things that we want to get. So we can do a bind thing here. Dynamically bound title. And we do that, we get a little title thing. Okay, cool. Great. Whatever. Okay, so we'd probably want something like that, where we'd have like, here's our app, and let's do like OL. I mean, really it should be UL for us. And then we'd have like LI and V-4, and this would be game in games, right? So for each game in games, then we want to do game.name. Okay, let's start with that. Okay, so then over here in games.js, this is where we'd need to go and get our games. So we'll do games. Let's just start off easy on this, and we'll do name as like Monopoly, and name is Clue, and we'll save it there. And we'll refresh this, and there we go. Now we got Monopoly and we got Clue. Cool. Okay, so now how do I get stuff from the internet? I'm guessing that I'm gonna have to. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to go and get stuff from. You know, I'm gonna have to get another library that will go and do the Ajax thing for me. Speaking of, though, I think API Star has. There's some sort of JavaScript thing that he's already provided. The problem is me finding that. So because I know that he has one. I don't know where that is though. Let's pop that open. Scripts. No. API star static. JS. No, not what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay, let's not worry about that for right now. Let's not worry about that for right now. Okay. So, what was that one that we used before? It was like fetch? Fetch was one that we used before, right? And we used that to go and fetch things. Yeah, window.fetch polyfill. That was it. We used fetch. Okay. So I need to download it. Can I not just get the one friggin' JavaScript file? Oh, I hate modern JavaScript. I don't hate it. It's just... Oh, so we already have window.fetch in Chrome and stuff. Okay. So let's just go look that up. I don't want that. I want this one. Right. This is experimental technology. That's fine. I don't care that it's experimental. Just show me using fetch. Making fetch requests. Okay. So I do fetch, and then I do whatever. Yeah, it's already here. Global fetch method. Okay, cool. So let's figure out how we would do this. Well, let's just do it up here. Let's just do games, var games equals fetch / list. And then we want to do dot then, because we're getting a thing, right? And if we get a response, then return response message. That should go back out there. I don't think we want blob because we're getting text. To extract the image body content from that. Okay, so we need to look at the body real quick just to see what we want, because we want the text that comes out. Let's see if that works. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Hey, Deva, how are you doing? We are currently working on trying to do a Vue.js front end to the API that we've built so far. It is occasionally very, very slow. Why is this so slow? Come on. You're localhost. Like, you're literally all right here. List is pending. Why would list be pending? That's our URL, right? Yeah, /list. Can it not do this for some reason? Like, it needs more workers? Could that shouldn't be it, right? Like, that seems just weird. Yeah. What could this be doing? Let's try. Let's try it with Gunnicorn and Reinhardt and see what happens. I will be amazed if we need to do this, but let's try it. Okay, so Gunnicorn and Mineheld. Not Reinhardt, Mineheld. Okay, so we got those installed. So then we would do Gunnicorn app:/app.wsg workers equals 2 find 8080 PID is PID worker class equals mineheld.gmineheld.mineheld worker. Text file busy. How's that busy? Okay, let's take off the PID then. See if that works. There we go. Okay, so now we should still be able to hit this. We did. We hit list, and we got something. What did we get? We got all the stuff. Okay. So now why did the thing not show? Because it's a promise. Oh, I hate... No? Games is undefined. Let's just search Google. Sure. Let's look at a couple of these here. Data fetching. Okay. Let's look at that. That one looks a bit more. Fetching after navigation. So, that doesn't look like what we were doing. But this is for the router. We're not really doing the router. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So let's try this out. So we start with data, and games is going to be equal to that. Google is definitely my friend, pause. I use Google all the time for everything. Okay, so data's that, and that's fine. And then we're going to add mounted as a function, and that does this dot fetch games. Okay. And then we have methods defined. Okay. Okay. I kind of like this. So let's call fetch games, which is a function. And we can do this dot $HTTP. Oh, maybe that's because of this view resource. Let's not do that. Let's take this and put it into here. Right? Yeah. So we'll do something like that. So we've got the then. Okay, so then we get this function, and we want to do something, and yeah, let's go ahead and do... Sorry, just trying to make this code look a little nicer. So then we can do... Yeah, we get that, this dot handle response with whatever the response is. Sure, that looks okay. Okay, so then we'll add another one here, handle response, which is a function that gets a response. Var vm equals this. So we're creating a thing that equals our view thing. Okay. If response dot data dot let's just console.log response. Let's just see what we get. All right. Invalid or unexpected token on line 9. Is it? Let's try restarting our server. It does not like something in this. Let's make sure it's clearing the cache. Because this is not what games.js looks like. Huh. What is going on here? Save all? I don't think I'd have to have that and that swapped to make it work. Everything has commas. Yeah, okay, I don't need that anymore. Okay, let's see. We got some chat going on over here. Wayfarer says, "How can I start learning programming? Beginner in programming, just completed your O level. Future goal is to become a deep learning engineer or programmer." So I'm assuming by deep learning you mean like machine learning, like using computers to do data science and stuff. If that's the case, if that's what you want to do, Python's probably a good first language. It may in fact be your only language. Python is really good for that. So give that a try. What is this doing? Huh. I'm going to try setting up the static thing in a minute. TPS. Yes, I am also a beginner in Vue.js. I'm very much a beginner. I'm a beginner in everything. I'm actually not a beginner in everything. I've got a pretty good grasp of Python and a few other languages, but when it comes to JavaScript, I'm very new. So, you know, I'm working on it. I don't know why this thing is not loading. The one idea I have is he was talking up here about Static files. Where was that? Oh, static files, static files, static files. Application. Here. So using white noise. So let's try that. Yeah, okay. Pip install white noise. Already satisfied. Okay. And then inside here had something about static routes. And static is static routes. So it expects to take a thing called that. Okay. Route static path as a get, and that should be static routes. Okay, I'm gonna guess what he provided here with the include is probably more correct, but I'm gonna follow what the docs say. We'll find out if that works. Oh no! Timer blink.r is not a callable object. Static serve. Oh, he imported a different thing. He imported serve static. And then this wasn't static routes. This was serve static. Okay, so that booted. And then this is just like sitting here. Let's toss in a console.log here. And that's still giving me an invalid thing for line 9. But this isn't... This isn't the thing. What is it doing? This isn't the file. Oh, just give me the file. All right. Let's do this. Serving that static file is going to be the challenge. And see, when we do this one, it never... List just sits here and pins. Yeah, TPS. We've done... we did React for a couple of videos on a previous thing. And... I think we've done some jQuery on one of them as well. TPS, what is the router? So I'm going to guess you're talking about this router here. So this is the router for... sorry, I'm just undoing what I did here. For API. API star. Yeah, that always pins, because this is only doing like one request. So we can't... Yeah. We can't send more than one thing there. So how do we make it to where it will respond to more than one? Because I would have assumed that these were async. Or not necessarily async, but that it could run more than one, right? Like, it could run more than one view at a time. Oh, did we finally get... Did list finally come through? Uncaught blank. This dot handle response is not a function. Something came through. Okay. This dot handle response. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, it's because I had this there. Var vm equals this. Not vim, vm. Okay, so there's our here. And then this is just sitting here pending. This takes forever to time out. Okay, so I'm gonna let that time out for a minute. I really don't get why I can't run it with Gunicorn. API star run. What are the settings that I can provide? Let's go look here at environment. Nope. App.py. Routes, commands, settings. Path, method, path. Okay, where did he import settings from? Yeah, settings there is obviously a class. Where did that come from? Probably here on settings.py. That would make sense. But there's no settings there for what I can do. Oh, did that finish? It did. Console, we got a response. Okay. So here's our response. And if you look at the body's a readable stream. Headers, we got stuff. Okay. So we want to take the body here. Body.json. We had this working. And then it stopped. With that invalid token thing. Okay. Yeah, and for some reason, this one always pulls our old one here. Well, let's rename this. Rename it to app.js. Save that. Restart our worker. Refresh this. We get app.js. Console gives us nothing. Let's try window.fetch. I don't think that's needed, but let's try it. That doesn't know what it's doing either. Okay. Back to this one, I guess. Can I specify workers? No. All right, so, Veronica, I'm sorry it's too small to see on your phone. There's not really a good way to stream, a full monitor so that it shows up well on phones. Yeah, I try to keep the font as large as possible where I can so that you can see stuff, so, okay. TPS, is React difficult to learn? No, not really. It's a different way of thinking, much like Vue.js is, because you are you're building components. You're not building like an app. So that's a little different. But it's not terribly hard now. I guess that didn't work. But it does take, a little bit of time. The best way to learn JavaScript, I honestly don't know. I haven't gone to learn JavaScript in a long time. I'm going to guess that your best bet would be something like, I'm going to guess that your best bet would be something like, Treehouse. We teach a lot of JavaScript on Treehouse, so you could totally try that one. Or like MDN, the Mozilla Developer Network, is pretty good for explaining a lot of stuff. I've heard Free Code Camp's JavaScript stuff is pretty good. I think just kind of learn, wherever fits your style of learning. Devashish, what are we developing? So we've been working on this API with API Star. Excuse me. And we've been working on this, and it has gotten to a state now where we can send the data around. And so now we're trying to build like a Vue.js front end for this, which is just taking forever. For some reason, this thing is not like giving us a lot of stuff. Okay. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong here. Let's just try taking, so then function response, return response, .json, Then this one's going to get a response as well. And we'll call that. Just to handle the multiple layers of promises? All right, JavaScript people, like, please explain to me why you need like 8 layers of promises, because I don't get it. I don't understand why we have so many promises. I don't get promises. And maybe that's me. Maybe that's my problem. But I don't get it. So yeah, I don't know. TPS, is it useful to learn clear JavaScript? I assume you mean like just straight JavaScript, like non anything else JavaScript. Yeah, I mean, it's sure. Because even though everything uses a framework, it uses Vue.js or React or whatever, you're still just running JavaScript behind the scenes, right? So you're not. It's not like you're not using JavaScript. Hello, unknown. How are you? Man, I wish this was faster. I don't know why this is taking so long to time out. It's really annoying. Hey, Tic Tac. How are you? That's another thing I got to talk to Tom about Windows and about this. Because this isn't fun. Nobody likes this. Oh, check it out. We got 3 things. Cool. So now that we have that, I should be able to do vm.games equals response. Maybe? Let's go look at, where was that thing we were looking at? This was the thing we were looking at. So, if we've got more than one item, then okay, so we do that stuff. So that looks like a good idea. So let's do some of that. So if response dot count, right? We can do count in JavaScript. Right, like array dot, oh no, it's length. That's it. Okay, if array dot length is greater than 0, so we actually got some stuff in there. I don't get why I would need to just get those things. So let's just try view.set for this app, games equal to response. And if that doesn't work, then we'll do the mapping thing, but I don't think we need to do the mapping thing. What am I doing in the network tab? I'm just in here watching for this to go from pending to done to a 200. Because I want to know when something like ideally I will see something change here, right? But if I don't, then I want to see that change. That's all I'm doing. It's the only reason I am sitting there. All right, come on. There obviously needs to be like 2 servers running, which I'm wondering if I couldn't do that somewhat easily. The problem is I gotta hit 2 different ports at that point. Yeah, Rich, I've seen the thing here where they're trying to get me to install the DevTools. Oh, check it out! We got the thing. There's our names. So they came through. Cool. And I'm totally happy to install this. But I'll go ahead and I'll install it just so we can see what it does. Because maybe it does something cool. Yeah, we'll leave that up. That's fine. Okay. So yeah, so let's reload that for here and just see what it does. But we got the Vue.js thing to work. That's cool. That's awesome. How does my backend connect to the front end? So we're running the server here, which serves up this template, right? And so the template runs this JavaScript, which calls the API. So we're not doing anything really. We're not really doing anything fancy. We're serving up a single page. You've heard single page web app, most likely, or single page app, SPA. So we're serving up a single page, and then from that, we are hitting our URL to go and solve things, and pull things out. So cool, we've got that. Let's make this look a little nicer. Let's go grab, say, Bootstrap. That's not what I want. I want this. And I actually don't need the JavaScript. I don't even need that theme. I just want this right here. So let's go there. Let's do that. And I'll get rid of that. And then let's come over here to components, and let's make like a card for each thing. Media object? No. List group? No. Panels? Sure, a panel will work. So div class equals panel default for v-4 game in games. All right, so we're gonna do one of these things for each game that's in the games, and we'll add a div class equals panel heading. And here we'll do game.name. And then div class equals panel body. And here we'll do a definition list. And we'll say designer. And then we'll do game.designer. And then we need two more of these. We'll do a player count, and this will be player count, and this will be duration, and this will be duration. And then we'll add minutes to the end there. Okay, that should work. Let's go refresh our thing and see how it looks. Okay, let's see. Tic Tac wants to know the best application to learn JavaScript. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Treehouse, obviously, working there. But there's lots of places to learn JavaScript online. Kind of depends on what you want to learn. If you want to learn Node, there's a really great one. It's like I don't think it's called Learn Node, but Node School, that's it. Is that it? Yeah, Node School's tutorials. Node School's tutorials are amazing. So you basically just install this stuff. You install it through npm, and then you run it locally, and it runs through a bunch of things for you to do, like in your browser. And it's really cool. It's really neat. So you should give that a try. So let's do container around all of this. And that'll make it look a little nicer. And we could do that inside there too. Okay, Let's see. TPS, you mean in code. Tell me more about what code you're wanting to see, and I'll try to show you or explain it. And Kaz says, what is an API star? So API star is a new library from Tom Christie. Tom Christie is the person who created Django REST framework. So he made a new, pretty awesome library for creating APIs in Python. So you can just make APIs. You don't have to have Django or whatever else on top of it. Yeah, I did mention Mozilla Developer Network. Developer.mozilla.org is also a pretty great place to go and look up JavaScript stuff. Might not be great for learning JavaScript, like the very first place you go to ever look at JavaScript ever in your life. They do have learning stuff. You can totally go and learn it. I just can't say if it's like the best place to go do that or not. But it is a fine place to go do that. So if you want to go do that at Mozilla Developer Network, but you don't have to. Yeah, there's lots of places to learn JavaScript. So yeah. All right, so let's see. So we've got the thing popping up here very slowly, but it does pop up. Let's see about doing the database backend. Like, now that we've got this thing working and doing a little bit of cool stuff, let's see about doing the database. We got about 10-15 minutes. That's plenty of times to do a database, right? We can do a database in 15 minutes. How hard can it be? And we got a little bit of Vue.js stuff working, right? Like, that's cool. This is much nicer than what I had to do to get React working. So I'm very happy about this. So thanks a lot, Vue. This is much nicer than React. So good. All right, so API star, and let's look here about backends. All right, so API star has optional support for SQL Alchemy. To use this, first you have to install SQL Alchemy. That makes sense. And your database driver, that also makes sense. So let's quit this. Let's pip install SQL Alchemy. And I want to use SQLite, which means I shouldn't need to do anything. Because if I'm using SQLite should already be set in. Let's just pop into Python. And let's do, like, where's that create engine coming from? You don't say. Okay. From SQL Alchemy, import create engine, and then I'm going to say SQLite : / games.db. Okay. And so then I've got an engine. Okay. So that part works. That's all I'm really worried about. All right. So now let's do this. Set up our thing. Okay. So we don't need that anymore. Okay. Come back over here to app.py. And we're going to bring in the SQL Alchemy stuff. I wish I had a little bit more screen room. Something I've learned is it doesn't really matter how much screen real estate you have or don't have. You don't have enough screen real estate. So all of you that are like, oh, I have to have like this huge thing, don't worry about it. It's not going to work. Okay, so from SQL Alchemy.ext.declarative import declarative base. Declarative is a really hard word to spell. From SQL Alchemy, import column, integer, and string. And you know what? Let's go to our project here, and let's install SQL Alchemy here as well, so that we will have there we go. So that we will have the stuff that we can import and bring in and do whatever. TPS, I live near the town of Portland, Oregon. So, sort of kind of other side of the world from you. But that's cool. That's the nice thing about the internet, right? And Daniel, we are currently working mostly in Python. We did a little bit of JavaScript earlier, but we're mostly in Python. Okay, so we got SQL Alchemy installed. So that way I'll be able to do these imports. You know, it'll know what I mean. And then I want to do appear from API star dot commands import create SQL Alchemy tables. Okay. All right. So we have this thing here called base is declarative base class game extends our base table name equals game ID equals column integer primary key equals true. And then this is the point where we would start putting our stuff in, right? So we'll do like name equals column string. Let's see. Let's go look at our schema again here. So we have name, designer, player count, and duration. So let's add all of those. Name, designer, column string, player count, column integer, and duration equals column integer. Cool. All right. So then down here in settings, we add a database, and we do URL, and let's do SQLite / games.db, and metadata base.metadata. And then here we want to do commands equals create SQL Alchemy tables. So I'm guessing that will make sure when it runs the app that it creates the SQL Alchemy tables. Cannot import name create SQL Alchemy tables. That's a problem. From API star.commands import from API star import commands dir commands create tables. I'm gonna guess that's the name I should have been using, and that the docs are just wrong. So delete through there, and same thing. All right. Okay, so now we're running that. So I would think I would see a games.json in here. Or, sorry, not JSON. Games.db. But perhaps not. Maybe we have to create a new one or something. Before starting your app, you'll likely need to create the database tables declared in your menu, which use the following command. Okay, API star create tables. Tables created. Now do we have? Yeah, now we got a games.db. Sweet. All right, so let's look at this. So we've got this from backends, import SQL Alchemy, and then we have this create customer, which takes a database and then takes a name and makes a customer adds the customer to the session, commits the session. Okay, and it returns the name. So we should be able to take our add game view here. And we don't care about this anymore, right? Yeah, we don't care about that. We only care about getting this game. So let's try this. SQL Alchemy, which I need to import that, and that was from API star.backends. So there's that. SQL Alchemy, okay. And then we take the game schema. So we would want to then do session equals db.session class, game equals game schema, I don't know if we want to do that or not. I think we want to do game equals game of the game that comes in. Let's call this like new game. And then we want to do session.add new game, and then session.commit. And then we want to return the game that came in. Okay. 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 I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, so let's add a data source here real quick. And it doesn't know what file I want. I want that file right there. Okay, we're good. All right. And there's currently nothing in there, I guess. Okay, here's our game. We don't have anything in our game. All right. So if we come back over here and we get one of our posts to add, right? And we send that, we get no response because we have something not right. There we go. Okay. So let's post that. Init takes one positional argument, but 2 were given. Oh, we need to do that maybe? Sweet. So now we got one out. And if we shouldn't need to have that one open anymore. If we look at our database and we look at our game, there's our game in our database. And if we come over, no, wait. Now we got to do the opposite of that in our list games and our search games. We'd have to update all of those as well, right? Those would all have to be updated to do our queries. And I don't remember enough about doing queries to in SQL Alchemy to write that right now. And I've only got about 5 minutes left anyway. This is the time where I tell you, if you have any questions, please post them in chat, and I will answer as many questions as I can. While y'all are coming up with questions, I will see if I can get at least the list games thing to work. SQL Alchemy. Maybe I don't have that one installed yet. Docsets. Available. SQL Alchemy. Install that, please. Okay. So yeah, what questions do y'all have? Otto wants to know what language is useful for game development. Well, Otto, you're going to hate this answer because this is the answer everybody gets when they ask questions like that. It depends. what do you want to do? What is your kind of game that you want to make? So if you want to make a game that uses, say, the Unity engine, which is a very common engine to use, then you're going to want to go learn C#. If you want to make a game using the Unreal engine, which is also a very popular engine, then you're going to want to go and learn the language C++. If you want to use, say, Love 2D, then you want to go learn Lua. If you want to use Pygame, you want to learn Python. If you want to make browser-based games, you want to go learn JavaScript. Excuse me. So it really kind of depends on what you're wanting to do. So, yeah, I mean, that's the easiest place for me to tell you. But yeah, a lot of people really like C#. I have to admit it's not a thing that I've really done. But yeah. So select columns. We can select which columns we want, and we can do a where. A list of column element or from clause objects that will form the columns clause. Where are some examples? Come on, SQL Alchemy. You should always give examples. Always. Let's go look at the SQL Alchemy docs. Maybe those are better. Maybe Java? You can use Java to make games. I don't know how many... I don't know how many game libraries use Java as their language. But I know there's at least some. I don't know how many. But yeah, if you find a great one for Java, please come back and tell me, because I'd love to know. Man, I wish I could find a thing for how to do what I want to do. I just want to query a thing and look it up. That's all I want. I just want you to go and search things for me. Shouldn't be this hard to just go look things up. There's that. Okay. So, session.query book. Let's just try this. Let's just try session equals db.session class. Games equals session.query for game. And I guess we could do this as query instead of games. So query. And then we could do like query.all. And does that give us all of them? I don't know if that does or not. So let's just try query right there. And I don't know if that's right or not, but let's find out. So we want to do a get on this one. Name DB is not defined. That's true. You don't have a DB there. So SQL Alchemy. And we got them. Nice. So that means I should be able to go here, refresh, and it should give me eventually just a single game, which is Bruno Cathallo's 5 Tribes. So yeah, pause. I know there's SQL Alchemy examples. I'll open that up just so people can see it. python-central.io SQL Alchemy -orm -examples. TPS, will there be some JavaScript live coding? Basically, the JavaScript live coding that you saw from me today is all the JavaScript live coding I'll be doing. That's the only kind I like to do. I don't do a lot of JavaScript. As for other teachers doing JavaScript, I don't know. I keep trying to get like Chalkers to come and do live streaming, but he's pretty busy, so he hasn't been doing that. And honestly, that's okay. He doesn't have to. You know, like I'm not gonna like be angry at him for not doing stuff. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I don't know how much JavaScript there will be. So we'll find out. Otto, I heard a lot of things about work. Some game developers say that they want to get any money from their games, and it's pretty frustrating. Yeah, I would imagine game development is a really hard area to break into. There's a lot of people that do game development. It's not going to be an easy market, right? There's a ton of game developers out there. But if you've got a great idea, if you've got an attractive game, you can do really well. Like the guy who made Stardew Valley, right? Stardew Valley is really great, and he built the game all on his own on like some super old PC he bought at like Costco, but he built the entire game himself, and he's made like a ton of money off of Stardew Valley. But it took him years and years and years and years to build it. It took him a really long time. So it's not a thing you're going to do like tomorrow. But yeah, Java is not a bad language to learn just for having a job. There's a ton of work out there for Java developers. So if you want to learn Java, go learn Java. Go do stuff. It's a neat language. TPS, when is the next live stream? My next one will be a week from today. So next Friday, that would be the 9th of June. So the 9th of June, 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'll be on. My coworker Ben will be doing it at 10 a.m. on the 8th. So a week from yesterday. So if you want to watch Android development, especially stuff with Kotlin, he's the guy to watch. He's going to be doing a ton of that stuff. So anyway, I am going to sign off for the day. BAFTIP, is Treehouse hiring? No, I don't believe so. There's a thing on our website. If you go look at our website, there'll be a thing about whether or not we're hiring. I don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna call it a live stream. It's been great. Thank you all for watching. This has been one of the more interesting ones for doing little bits of pieces and stuff. I don't know what we're doing next week. I think I'm done with API Star, unless I can figure out how to get the thing not to time out forever. Yeah, I don't have an idea for next week's stream just yet. I got a couple ideas floating around, but nothing serious. So if y'all have ideas, hit me up on Twitter. Send me your ideas, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll do them. Twitter is right down there, right below me. It says my Twitter handle. So I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good weekend.